We're here on location at the Retail Wholesale Workers Department Store Local 108 here in Maplewood, New Jersey, where it's hosting our opportunity to have a conversation with the Honorable Mayor Wayne Smith of Irvington. Mayor Smith is one of the candidates running in the upcoming election that the union will be supporting. And we're very happy to have an opportunity to talk to you on location about a myriad of different things that's going on, especially when it comes to government and leadership. Welcome, Mayor Smith.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. The president of this great local, the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union is Charles Hall, and this is Local 108. They're longtime friend and supporters, have many Irvingtonians who not only are members of this union, but work for this local, so we're delighted to have their support and to be here on location to talk to you about this campaign.
You know, it's good to discuss some of the important issues in relationship to representation when it comes to employment. Although we know that the recession had a deficit in regard to jobs, the opportunity for people to still get represented properly exists.
Oh yeah, so as a mayor, you know, people should know that I am pro-labor, and at the end of the day, I was a former CWA shop steward with Local 1037, who also supports this campaign, and Communication Workers of America 1037, Communication Workers of 1039. One of my running mates, Lionel Lee, happens to be the president of that local. Hetty Rosenstein, who is the district counsel of Communication Workers of America, is supportive of this campaign as well. So we're delighted to have their support. And because of that labor background, we have always been sensitive as mayor to labor issues. So we've worked very close with Local 617 and making sure that even our crossing guards and get a fair shake in terms of employment. We've experienced no layoffs and those kinds of things. On the other side, in my career, we've had some layoffs on the municipal police side, and we've managed to figure out a way to bring those officers back. We've had some rifts on the municipal employee side, but by and large, we've, over the last 8 years, kept pretty consistent about keeping people on the workforce and under very difficult circumstances, under 2% cap, pension payment costs that we had to make. We had to pay $9 million this year, but being sensitive to labor and trying to make sure that we're fair fundamentally. I stood up when the Christie administration was trying to change civil service to the detriment of the workers. And I'll tell you, African Americans and Latinos, immigrants from around the world, who had an opportunity to work in government, by and large have been protected by the civil service system, and we want to make sure those guarantees continue to exist. I support them as a mayor and support fundamental fairness at the work site and all our endeavors.
And it's interesting for you to share that kind of reality, because in many instances, public awareness is brought to an existence of believing that the only thing the union does is take dues out of your paycheck and don't really give anything back. But it's a tremendous amount of work just to ensure that each employee is not only represented properly in the workplace, but that they get fair wages.
Yeah, no, listen, at the end of the day, in these very difficult times, you have to have skilled people at the table in your interest. So unions play a vital role, not only in municipal government, but in our society. And I will tell you, this local and others, I've received the endorsement of the Working Families Alliance, a group that was out supporting the increase of the minimum wage. So they set a climate and a bar for working people so that they have decent wages. And everything that they do affects the person who's receiving the lowest wages in society. So even because of that struggle and that fight, in New Jersey, we have the minimum wage raised. President Obama now is talking on federal minimum wage, where they provide contracts and in federal dollars, the minimum wage should be increased. I was just out with SEI local BJ out at the Newark Airport fighting.
1199 BJ.
No, 1199 BJ. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Herbert. out with them talking about fair wages for workers at the airport, and was one of few elected officials who took the opportunity to support that effort and that struggle. And so, being pro-labor is very critically important, because the labor movement has also stepped up for working people's political independence, that we don't have to be bought or bossed by the political forces that try to control and govern everything. And so in that standpoint, this campaign is very much about the working man having some representation.
Your tenure has been extensive, and in many instances, it's always a new type of job responsibility for each time that you have been reelected. And looking at the fairness of the fact that your reelection this time around is going to be unprecedented. There has not been anyone in your township to have been elected as often as you have. In relationship to many of the types of barriers that have been represented to mayors, in particular small towns, but specifically in New Jersey as a whole, what is your approach towards ensuring that the next time around will be as responsible as what you have done in the past?
Well, I think one of the challenges, and one of the major challenges we've had, is a shrinking economy. But I do see signs of life in the economy, and I'll tell you what I mean. When I look at some of the developments where we've had some challenges with abandoned properties, if you go out to the Parkway entrance by Myrtle Avenue, you'll see a multifamily house there, an apartment complex. In fact, my sister, who's deceased, lived in that building at one time, and that building is now being rehabilitated. We now have investors involved with some of the abandoned multifamilies on 18th Avenue near Isabella, where Pastor Grady James' church is at. And so these are projects now we'll be able to work on and move forward. One Linden Avenue was going to get, if everything goes right, a major facelift. They'll be before the municipal council on April 21st, their redevelopment committee, talking about the whole redesign and refacing of the seniors so that they have even a more comfortable environment. And so, we've had some controversy in that building, but the developer is actually going back in to make sure he redoes that building in a first-class way. The guy just bought the building 2 years ago. So Housing Mortgage Finance Agency is considering a major tax credit program for him, where he'll be able to redo the whole building and make it extraordinarily nice for the seniors. And we're getting ready to do a facelift on Springfield Avenue, money that we got for the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority. We have the hospital project finally sold, and that will get demolished sometime this year. So, those are the real projects. Walgreens is coming this year. So those are the kinds of things that will be focused. Dollar Tree, which is more of a suburban of retailer, and not in many urban stores, now went in the row of properties by Supremos. They're putting a brand new store there. So these are some of the things that are happening that in my fourth term, if the voters will have me, and I'm working very hard to sell this message and this story, and that's why I'm very proud to have the support of the working grassroots labor unions that are on the ground working with their membership, pulling out a vote on our behalf. That's critically important. And you're also having the support of one of my local mayors right next door, Mayor Victor Luca of Maplewood. So all those things become important to, what your vision is. Like, a lot of the candidates always sell gloom and doom. They think that's how you get elected. But, one of the candidates had a newsletter about some properties, and we got some challenges along the Grove Street corridor and below. But I'm building new housing at the same time. Brand New Day is building new houses. People said we shouldn't build market rate housing in the East Ward. In my first term, while the economy was moving, we did them, and those 25 houses sold. But we're also still building right now over there, where Brand New Day is going to be completing some other homes. And so, while people sell gloom and doom, there's also some signs of life and light. When I tell people about a $12 million investment in the Valley Plaza Mall, they're taking their time because they want to do it right. They have no devoid of money. They're fine. They have $12 million that they put up front. That mall is moving along progressively. The retail environment hopefully will come along this year, as they're about 35% leased, and hopefully